Hello and welcome to Focus, a show focused on community, unity, and service. I'm your host, Mark Warnock, and today we're here with the Executive Director of Allied Rehabilitation Centers Incorporated, Russell Coleman. Thanks for coming on the show, Russ. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, Mark. We thank you for this opportunity.
So tell us a little bit about Allied and what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Allied Rehabilitative Centers has been serving individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities since the early 60s. It's a not-for-profit agency with an office located out of Enfield, Connecticut. We provide services that include day programs, employment services, residential programs and community programs, sports and rec programs, transportation services, and Allied's Attic Thrift Shop, which we own and run.
It's one of my favorite places to venture around and see what
Yes.
random things happen up here. That are always kind of fun. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in Allied and the program.
Absolutely. So I'm actually a fairly new here to Allied. I've been here since June 2020, so during the pandemic.
Wow.
So that's interesting to note. And I've been in the field working with individuals with developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities for over 20 years, since the late 1990s. I worked as a residential counselor in Maryland. I then moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where I worked at a behavioral institute, and then I made my way here to Connecticut. And I'd worked for another agency out of Waterbury before coming here to Enfield, Connecticut to be the executive director. And what brought me here to Allied Rehabilitation Centers was the leadership here at Enfield. I really, here in Enfield, I really grew to attached and understand and believe in Allied's mission, their values, and as I said before, the leadership, working with Carol Burnett, who's been here since 1994, who is our CEO and president, is really was really instrumental to me coming over, as she has proved to be an excellent leader and mentor.
So as you all know, with the pandemic going on, things are a little bit crazier than they usually would be. What was it like going through the hiring process during this time, as opposed to the regular interviewing?
Yeah, going through the hiring process was interesting because, as you're right, it's not face-to-face. Although I did get the opportunity to come in and do one interview face-to-face. The rest of them were via Zoom. And it's difficult because when you're face to face, you get to see everyone's mannerisms, you get to see their faces, you get to see their expressions, and really talk to them one-on-one. And when you're in a Zoom session, it's really difficult to read a person's. But it worked out well. I am here at Allied, and I enjoy it very much. I enjoy working with the team that I work with.
So going off that, with the pandemic and everything going on, how are you guys finding it to keeping in touch with your clients and during this time of all the stuff going on?
Yeah, obviously there's not a standard operating procedure for this. No one has one. And it's been very difficult to stay in contact with our individuals, especially during the beginnings, starting in March. We had a lot of our programs initially shut down, closed their doors, and we had limited access. As I mentioned, our president CEO, Carol Burnett, who's been here since 1994, she was really instrumental with her leadership and provided weekly video updates that everyone could view, letting individual staff and participants know what was going on, what was Allied doing to support them, what could we do, how to contact us, and so forth. We increased our meetings to ensure there was a consistent messaging, and it was really important during this time to stay connected and communicate with our individuals. And this is when we started really looking at different technology and really setting up a Zoom platform. So in the Zoom platform, we started working with our individuals in our various programs, and we started to not only work with them, but also train them on how to use Zoom themselves, whether it was them or their family members, on how to use this new technology, because it was new for everybody, not just for us. And rolling out this Zoom platform, we were able to really work with our employment program, our day program, our residential program, and provide services. So just for examples, within our employment program, we were able to set up a Zoom platform, and we had job development live. We had health and wellness. We had problem solving, communication skills. And we were able to support our individuals with these different classes over the Zoom platform. And we were doing this 3 to 4 hours a day, every 5 days a week. So we were able to reach our participants. And during this time, we were actually able to even employ some of our individuals at different jobs, which was excellent. And our day program, this is where we supported our individuals really before the pandemic. We were getting these individuals out into the program doing volunteer work. We were doing community-focused outings, building community relationships with the community of Enfield, and doing trips, activities. We weren't able to do this anymore because we weren't able to go out in the community. And so during this time, we set up different classes for these individuals. Some of those could have been music, cooking, current events, yoga classes, just to let the individuals know we were there, get them up and doing something, get them in an activity. And it was just as important to have these classes as it was for them to see each other and communicate, to know that hey, we're all still there. Your friends are still here. And we were able to have that communication and provide that communication, that line for them to have that communication. And it was really excellent. One of the actual virtual offerings was a virtual field trip to a staff's house who had a farm. And this was really neat. And we got to video the whole thing. And this was a farm people were familiar with. They went to before, but now they got to see all those animals, some familiarity to see all those animals at the farm that they once visited live. So this was really good for the participants to see. And in our residential group homes, which we have 5 group homes, and we serve 24 individuals, you can imagine not being able to go home and see your families, your loved ones. This is very, very difficult. And during this time, there's all sorts of problems that arise from not being able to do this. I mean, this was a regular practice that many of our individuals did, and they look forward to, whether it was going home for the weekend or going home for a day trip or out to dinner. And we had this technology. We had bought 50 iPads. And we were handing them out to families. We hand them out to individuals so they could continue that virtual connection and have that that discussion with their parents or their family members, or maybe even have a virtual dinner or something like that, and they could have that connection. It wasn't perfect, but was the next best thing.
That is fantastic. You guys really stepped up there and had a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so I know, like, for us in we're public access where I'm working out of, our studio's closed and our volunteers I haven't seen since March. How has this affected you guys with your volunteers and the usual people that would come to volunteer for you guys?
Yeah. So talking about volunteering, our sports and rec program I mentioned earlier as one of the programs that we have here at Allied Rehabilitation Centers is a completely unfunded program here. And we have 144 total people, 92 participants, and 52 volunteers. So you can imagine that this is a very difficult time for them. And it supports the Enfield Stars Special Olympics of Connecticut. And during this time, it's been very difficult to really get in touch and keep in touch with the volunteers. And these volunteers not only volunteer to help the Enfield Stars, but they also work with donations and all of our different charities. I mean, we had our Allied annual 5K walk that was supposed to be in March, March, but we couldn't have it because that's right when the pandemic hit. And that's one of our biggest fundraisers that supports this unfunded program. We have our Birdies for Charity golf. You're not playing golf during pandemic. Poinsettias fundraiser, dances. We'll probably still be able to do the poinsettias fundraiser. But it's been very difficult for our volunteers and supporting the sports and recreation program. We have been able to have virtual bingo. We're going to have a pasta dinner where we bring it out to the cars. And we're looking into having a virtual annual 5K walk. So it's been very difficult for the volunteers, for the individuals that the program supports. And that's something that we're looking to really try and beef up with the use of virtual technology and Zoom.
How has this also affected, I know you mentioned earlier, Allied's Attic. How has that affected this all affected Allied's Attic with donations and
yes,
running the store?
Absolutely. So with Allied's Attic, you can imagine that was shut down. The doors were shut for a few months until the governor allowed stores to start reopening, loosening the restrictions, and we weren't getting donations at the beginning. It was really a difficult transition. We eventually did put up a tent in the back, and we allowed staff. We allowed the public to drop off donations, and then we started to slowly open. And we were overwhelmed with donations at that point, and it was a great thing. It really was. And the first weeks that Allied's Attic opened, the first 2 weeks, were the best-selling weeks that Allied ever had seen to date because of all those donations. And unfortunately, we're only open. We reduced our hours of operation because of what's going on, and we're only open Monday through Friday. We're typically open on Saturday. We're open 9 to 3. We're doing okay for the reduced hours. We're not quite at the peak that we are when we have the Saturday hours, but to keep everyone safe, the public safe, our individuals who work there safe, it's what's needed. And we do look forward to opening full time and opening those Saturday hours and offering we used to, prior to the pandemic, we would offer to go pick up donations. We want to have this service open up again to the public, and we looked at opening that within the next month. So we want to go back to pre-pandemic. We'd love to do that and serve the public and our individuals at that same capacity.
Yeah, I know with everyone being home, they have plenty of time to clean out stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's where all the donations. I know a lot of places around here are filled with donations because it's like everyone's got time to clean. So there's plenty of chances to do that.
Absolutely.
As we get and wrap up the segment, we always like to ask our guests one last question. During this difficult time and everything that's been going on, what is the thing you're most thankful for?
And this is something that I talk about often, and I bring it up as many times as I can. And it's the amazing staff that we have that work at Allied Rehabilitation Centers and in nonprofits like ours. They've been able to adapt to really an unprecedented time, a virus that no one expected, a pandemic. And they really are our frontline heroes. They work every day to provide essential services to the individuals we support. And it's not an option for them to work from home. They don't have that option. And really, so if I'm very thankful that they're there to support the individuals that we serve.
That's great. Yeah, I know everyone we've talked to, all the different organizations, it's all the people that involved in the organizations that a lot of people are talking about, and just people still giving their time, even though there's all this stuff going on. And it's crazy. We'll get back to it sooner or later. Everything will be back to normal sooner or later. But
I hope so.
before we wrap up, do you want to just give the information if anyone wants to get look up you guys and find where to find you guys on the web?
Yeah, absolutely. First, our phone number is 860-741-3701. And our website is www.alliedgroup.org. And you can find us there. Thank you.
No problem. That also has connections to the Allied Zadok information as well, correct?
Correct. Absolutely.
Awesome. So thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming on. You know, it's hectic, a lot of stuff going on, but especially now with you just getting into the job and everything. But thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next time here on Focus.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.